Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, or one of the many outstanding terrestrial radio spots that we have across the country. We're live here on Labor Day. Hope everybody had a terrific and safe holiday weekend. And in this hour, Pauly, we're going to go over updated future numbers in college football, conferences, and odds to make or miss the playoffs. Intriguing movement there. Monday night preview here, North Carolina and TCU. In-pocket plays coming up, and here we head out to the progressive guest line. Nick Whalen joins the program now. Now he's on Sirius XM Fantasy Today, noon to 2 Eastern Time. Nick, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing well, guys. Doing well. Appreciate you having me back, and officially ready to start focusing in on week 1.
Did you make a bet on the Rams-Texans game at all when the back problem was lingering there for Matthew Stafford? Now, of course, they came out today and they announced that he's going to give it a go and he's going to start. But did you make a bet on that game like in the last couple of days, last couple of weeks at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 3 or 4 days ago. I was looking at the under at 44.5, and it's down to 43.5 right now at DraftKings. There are still some 44.5s out there if you look around. But I know we got the news earlier today that, yes, Matthew Stafford is trending toward playing. It's not surprising, based on how these last couple of weeks have gone. But Matthew Stafford has been very limited for the last 3 or 4 weeks, especially. And, we never expected him to play in the preseason, but not practicing at full speed. You got a Rams team that has a big piece to work in Devontae Adams. And I think there's a decent chance that really both sides come out looking a little rusty in this game offensively. Houston, one of the biggest under teams in the league last year, went under this number specifically, 44.5, in 13 of 19 games, including the postseason. So I have questions about the Rams offense. You certainly have questions about the Houston offense, maybe the worst offensive line on paper in the NFL. No Joe Mixon to begin the year. You have 3 or 4 kind of uninspiring options behind him. DeMeco Ryan seemed hesitant to really commit to any of those guys. But really, guys, why I like the under here is you have 2 of the best defenses in the NFL. And I don't know if the Rams are quite in that upper echelon, but the Texans, to me, are a top 2 or 3 defense. You got 2 really good pass rushes. The Rams defense got better and better as last season went along. So I think both of these teams will be fine. I like the Texans to win the AFC South. I don't know that there's really another reasonable contender to them in that division, but I can see this one being a bit of a slog in week 1.
All right. How about another under? Makes sense. The Saints are plus 450, fewest points on the year. I think there's going to be an ugly offense with it's salary cap hell as well. How about Arizona Saints 43.5?
Give me the under, guys. Sign me up.
Yep.
Whether you like the game under, whether you like the Saints team total under 17.5, I just have no faith in the New Orleans Saints offense. I think you feel a little bit better about it with Spencer Rattler just because he has some modicum of NFL experience, but you can't be thrilled by what you saw from Spencer Rattler last season. And yeah, you could say, the tough opponent, schedule picked up as the year went along. They lost some pieces. I don't know that the current Saints roster heading into week 1 is all that much better than the Saints roster that was on the field for much of last season. We'll see how long Chris Olave could stay out there. We'll see how effective Alvin Kamara is in what's just not a fantasy-friendly, productive-friendly system for him. You look at the games where Rattler started last year, 6 starts, then he came into a game and played most of it. 5 of those 7 games went under this game total at 43.5. The Saints scored 10, 8, 19, 0, and 10 points in 5 of those 7 games. The only 2 outliers came against Tampa Bay at a time when the Bucs defense was missing a bunch of guys in the secondary. They were really struggling. And on the other side of this game, I think the Cardinals have maybe one of the more underrated defenses in the NFL. I mean, you'd be hard pressed for, even a fairly serious NFL fan to be able to name 3 players on that defense last year, but they invested in the draft. They invested in free agency. Didn't make a whole lot of changes offensively. So I'm still a little bit skittish approaching the Cardinals when it comes to winning that division or the win total, but I think they're in a good spot here to win in week 1, and I think that defense is really going to hold down the Saints.
Hey, Nick, to your point on the Saints offense, too, by the way, to go back to that for a second, a fantasy angle here. I have been, it's been my pick. I'm on the clock in like every league so far, and there's Alvin Kamara, like just begging me to take him, like whatever round it is. It's like, it's his turn to go. I might need a running back. You go by ADP, you go by tiers. It's like, okay, now's the time. I haven't pulled the trigger one time. Like, I want nothing to do with any of these Saints players.
Me neither, man. Me neither. I know there are Chris Olave supporters out there, and Olave is going so late in drafts that one you could justify, but I just worry so much about the concussions and even what is the upside, even if he does stay healthy in this offense. Kamara, he's had years where the Saints have been down. He's still been productive, but he's so reliant on the pass catching. So if you're not in a full point per reception fantasy league, I'm just not that interested in Alvin Kamara. It's a guy who, for as long as he's been in the NFL and for as great as he's been, doesn't have 1,000-yard rushing season. I don't think that's going to come this year. So that worries me a little bit. And honestly, my party line on this is I don't want to be in that situation where I have to take Alvin Kamara or Chuba Hubbard, one of those backs you just don't feel all that great about with pick 50 overall. I want to get to that point in the draft. I want to be entering round 5 already with 2 running backs in my back pocket, so I just don't have to shop in that range.
Do you? Where is he going in drafts, and do you recommend you take Ollie Gordon out of Miami?
Yeah, I like Ollie Gordon quite a bit, and part of it is somewhat of a fade on Devon Achane. Right?
Yes.
If Devon Achane stays fully healthy, sees the workload he did last year, plays 16, 17 games, then there's probably not that much room for Ollie Gordon, but everybody was excited about Jalen Wright coming into training camp, and once again, he's injured. He's going to miss time to begin the year. I think Ollie Gordon is going to have a real opportunity first 3 or 4 weeks of the season to assert himself as a high-level number 2, or a handcuff, as we call it in the fantasy world, where, look, you're not drafting Ollie Gordon, hopefully, and starting him at any point early in the season, but the whole point is you can get him, pick 140, pick 150 in some drafts overall, just, at the point where you're just kind of burning spots, you're taking flyers on players. And if Devon Achane goes down at any point this season, which I think is a real possibility, I mean, you're finding your way into a guy who all of a sudden you are comfortable starting, a guy who could be a lower end starting running back in fantasy.
Very good.
Yeah, Nick Whalen, our guest, Rotowire Senior Analyst, Sirius XM Fantasy today at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. out here on the West Coast. How about another under that you like in week 1? Pauly asked the question, an hour ago, where are the points coming from in the Steelers-Jets game? So I will ask you. Total's 38.5.
I would ask the same question. I don't trust either of these offenses. I think the Steelers in particular are very comfortable playing these type of games, right? They're not the team that wants to run up the score. I think if they can beat you 17-13, they're more than happy to do it. I think ideally the Jets would like to be more explosive, but everything we've learned about this team over the last few weeks and in the preseason has been extremely discouraging as far as the Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson connection or lack thereof. I challenge anyone to tell me who the number 2 receiving option is for the Jets. There's some excitement in the fantasy world about Mason Taylor, the rookie tight end, but we'll see. I think that could be a later in the season type of thing. So I think the Jets could still be a really tough out week to week. Like, I still wouldn't be shocked if they won this game, but I do not see this being high scoring whatsoever. I think this is a 10 to 15 carry type of game for Justin Fields. I think it's classic Aaron Rodgers conservatism, not pushing the ball downfield. Neither of these teams have really anything at pass catcher outside of their number 1 wide receivers in Garrett Wilson and DK Metcalf. 2 very good receivers, but not on that level where they single-handedly, kind of drag you to 1 or 2 touchdowns per week, like some of the truly elite receivers do in the NFL. So this is one to me. I know that number's low. You don't want to bet, an over in the 30s in week 1. I'm all over it.
All right. How about a side here? I think you're going to make a good case how important this is for Jacksonville. You're supposed to come in with the hotshot coordinator. You get Cohen. You're supposed to fix Lawrence. If you lose at home to Carolina and or can't move the ball, then I think sky is falling Monday morning. What say you?
Absolutely. And, I think the sky will be falling internally. It'll be falling for Jaguars fans like myself. And a big part of the reason that this is a must-win game for the Jags at home, by the way, in week 1, is you're going to Cincinnati in week 2. You're hosting the Houston Texans in week 3. You're going to San Francisco in week 4, and then you have the Chiefs in week 5. 2 weeks later, you got the LA Rams. I mean, they have to win this game. If they don't beat the Carolina Panthers in week 1, you're likely looking at a 1-4 start to me at best. Maybe you luck your way into a win in one of those next 4 games that I mentioned. So, look, I typically bet against the Jaguars. I fade my own mental health, if you will, but I don't think this Carolina team is all that good. I think we were a little bit overrating what we saw for Bryce Young over the second half of last season, just relative to the quarterback that he had been. I think the Jags will put up points. Really what I like here more than anything is the over 24.5 on that Jags team total. But you're giving me the Jags 2.5 at home. I think they'll do enough offensively to win this game against what was arguably the worst defense in NFL history a year ago in Carolina.
Nick, do you trust Cincinnati enough here in week 1, like either in survivor pools, my God, laying the points, or money line parlay, whichever way you want to attack it?
I don't know if I do. And I'm very curious to see how that breaks down in Circus Survivor in week 1. How many people are just on principle not taking the Cincinnati Bengals, who, in theory should be on the short list of teams that you would target. But I think they've built up enough bad will over the last few years, and especially last season, that some people will just stay away. Now, they made the decision to play some starters in the preseason in multiple games. We'll see if that ultimately does make a difference. Look, if it's a must-win for Jacksonville in week 1 against Carolina, this is an absolute must-win for the Cincinnati Bengals, especially Zach Taylor, right? If Zach Taylor moves to 1-12 straight up in week 1 and week 2, I don't know how that inspires any faith going forward if you're Cincinnati. So I think the Bengals get it done. Am I going to be putting my money on it? I'm not sure I would.
Very good. Nick, by the way, you're going to pop on this show every Monday. We'll do like a Monday Night Football preview, among other things. And today is the first day. Next week, obviously, we'll have Bears-Vikings. So that's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that, man. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, guys. Should be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Be good. There you go. Nick Whalen joined us here on the Progressive Guest Line. He's on X at WHA, the number 1 EN, Rotowire Senior Analyst. By the way, Phillies took the lead over the Brewers 6-5.
Yep. Bullpen implosion here. Yep. 5-1 lead gone.
So that's
going to...
And
Atlanta's trying to give it away, too. 6-4 over the Cubs in the 7th.
Yeah, bullpen shenanigans, huh? Surprise, surprise.
Yep.
So when the Brewers get bounced in the first round, people are going to say, told you so. Huh? They peaked back in August. Knew it.
Devers hit another home run.
He's blazing hot.
This guy's locked in.
Watch him hit like 40 on the year now.
Oh, man.
The daily home run props with him. You're raking it in here lately.
Sure.
We will go over updated future numbers in college football, conferences, and odds to make or miss the playoffs, how these numbers have moved next.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We will preview the Monday night college game on the slate tonight from a betting perspective coming up in 15 minutes. TCU favored on the road against North Carolina. What are you chuckling at?
Kalen DeBoer's buyout. You did. I don't want to overreact, but you said, get back your bags. What do you think his buyout is?
Oh, boy. $60 million.
$70 million?
$70 million.
Oh, my God.
Imagine they go 6-6. Do you think that's completely outlandish? You think that they're going to find the money to do that?
They'll probably say, hey, can you come down to 40? Can you meet us at 40? And then it'll be like the Eddie Orgeron. When do you want me to leave? And what door do you want me to go out of, brother? I mean, that is $70 million.
That's not even.
How do these ADs and presidents allow this to go on?
Oh, because they're out of their. They have no idea. I mean, come on, Paul. I mean, it goes back to. I'm blanking on the guy's name now. Fisher?
Weiss?
No, FSU. Then
Charlie
Texas
Strong.
Texas A&M.
Fish. Yeah,
Fisher. Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, okay.
The buyout was like 94, whatever it was. Yeah,
you're right. Good call.
Like, you actually agreed to that?
I thought Charlie Weiss had 2 at the same time. He's getting paid by like 3 schools at the same time. Got that? Yeah, sure. Yeah, very good. $70 million.
How about okay, so they don't do it this year, then it comes down a little bit next year. But if he's completely over his skis, and we're talking about, no playoffs and like hovering around 500, and you're losing the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Are they going to sit there and take it?
No, that's the whole fan base will chip in. It's one thing to lose. It's what's been going on.
Yeah. So at
just running it down, no defense, can't stop the run, all of it, soft, getting pantsed by unranked teams, double-digit opponents, all of it.
Sure. So updated odds now to win the SEC at DraftKings. Texas still the favorite, plus 280. Georgia 3-1, LSU 6, Bama 7. Did you see anything in there that would warrant a bet from any of those teams now with the updated numbers? LSU?
Yeah, well, I love LSU and how good they looked. I would definitely make the case for LSU. That's one schedule I can get behind. Because all these other teams you mentioned, there's a lot of tough games coming up. I would also say probably Georgia too, but LSU getting that big win already, and you get Florida at home, at Ole Miss, okay, don't know, at Bama, and then you're at Oklahoma. But those other games are definitely doable at home. And I think LSU getting that win with Nussmeier and returning 16 starters, I would look at LSU. Alabama, it's like, now what? You go to Georgia. You go to Missouri. You go to South Carolina. LSU, Oklahoma back-to-back. At Auburn, Arnold looked great. I mean, if you can't slow down Castellanos can't throw the ball, who are you stopping?
Well, that's going to be an angle again this year, is to bet the mobile quarterbacks, right? To go over with their, if you want to find ladders as well, if you can do that. I don't know if you can in college in many spots, but you want to go any deeper. Do you want to go to A&M at 13, Florida 14, Ole Miss 17?
No, I don't.
Oklahoma 22?
I love Oklahoma, but I'll respond after Saturday night. I want to see how he looks like against Michigan.
But that might be cut in half if they're awesome.
Okay, yeah. I also don't want to throw money away either with that. But why is Florida 17.5 against South Florida? Doesn't that seem high?
Oh, man.
Boy, that's a lot of points.
I think the Florida power rating's pretty damn high. I mean, the quarterback there is phenomenal if he can stay healthy the entire year.
Well, get ready for the gauntlet. South Florida, coming off the huge win against Boise, at LSU, at Miami, Texas, at A&M.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm not going to bet them.
It's coming up for Florida.
Can't do it. No way.
It's kind of like Miami and South Florida, where it's all just all Miami schools or all Florida schools playing each other.
Right. By the way, in the ACC, Miami's down to plus 280. I had a bet on them last year, plus 450 in the summertime. Paul still gave it out.
Yeah.
And how they never even made it to the ACC title game is still total choke job.
Yeah, choke job and coaching. I know. I can't get there.
And Clemson, now they were around even money. Some spots actually moved them to odds on because they were such a popular bet in the offseason. Now plus 150 to win it. Is now the time to come back in?
2 weeks is huge. Massive. They go to Georgia Tech September 13th. Enormous game. How good is Haynes King? There's a guy you want to ladder, by the way.
Well, he's
multiple
good.
Touchdowns and ladder his rushing.
He's also going to get hurt this year.
You think so? Okay.
He invites too much of an impact, and he puts it on. By the way, the contact is always there. He's very physical style of quarterback, and I think that's probably going to get him hurt at some point.
Well, I'm still going to go with my guy and my team before, and that's Lashley and SMU. They were plus 950, 9-1 in that range, plus 850.
Now 10-1
to win the ACC. Yep, we got the big one against Baylor, laying 3.5 Saturday. They should be able to move the ball on that pathetic Baylor defense. You have to go to Clemson. That's one negative. But you get Miami at home and you get Louisville at home. I think that guy's a hell of a coach.
Well, FSU's 11-1. I'm not saying that I'm going to bet that because that would be an overreaction, I think. However, I'm very intrigued by what Norvell might be able to do this year with the team. We're sitting here knocking Alabama. We got to credit FSU. I mean, they took it to them the entire game.
At Florida, at NC State, at Clemson, Miami at home.
Yeah, well, the Florida game's not conference, so.
Yeah, that's tough. I know. Yeah, Okay, fair enough. And then with Miami, though, you go South Florida, you mentioned this earlier, at Florida State and Louisville back to back.
And then SMU's 2 weeks after that.
That's right. Then they got to go to SMU.
We'll find out how good they really are.
I looked a lot different than on defense. Looked good.
I know.
There was a couple breakdowns, but I love sending pressure and the pass rush, and I thought they did an excellent job. And coming out of there with the win, and Beck looked good too. They have dudes, no doubt about it. But this is what I talked about on the show with you Friday about coming in and then seeing what these would happen and then how the lines would shift with some of these. And you think, okay, I like that team. Okay, look at the schedule. Oh, boy. And it's like things can change. It blow up. It's like, suddenly maybe South Florida, it's a tough game. Suddenly Florida State might be good. So, you got to let it breathe, though, with some of this, too. So a lot of this stuff, I can't recommend anything.
Yeah, I'm ultra high on Penn State. I've told you that before. They were my pick, and I have bets on them to make the playoffs, and I also have bets on them to win the national title. They were my pick in the college football betting guide. They are at plus 220 to win the Big Ten. What did you make of USC this week? And I get it was Missouri State by Maeva, the transfer quarterback from UNLV. In one half was 15 of 18, 3 touchdowns.
I make nothing of it. I don't care. You have to do it against someone who's good, and you have to do it away from home. And that's been the issue with Riley, away from home. So
I've always trusted that guy with, I had a bet on Miller Moss last year to win the Heisman. It fell apart because that team could not keep fourth quarter leads. Had they, the team would have been, maybe in a playoff position last year. But they blew all those games in the fourth quarter, and Miller Moss got off to a really good start, transferred to Louisville. And I think I do have, Lincoln Riley with offenses, come on, he's got it's the benefit of the doubt here that I give the guy.
Okay, so you're FOMO now. Are you going to jump in with Utah because of what happened last year, and you're going to hate yourself if they do something this year?
Well, what are we talking about?
Oh, my God.
How big? Big 12, playoff?
Yeah. Both of them. Win the conference, playoff. And Dampier looks so good, destroying UCLA.
Yeah, I might have to do something here with a playoff bet.
They get Texas Tech, Arizona State, and Kansas State at home. They're at Baylor, and they're at West Virginia and BYU. But that kid, was he good. 80 yards rushing
it's
and a
not
touch.
only that, by the way. It's the defense is going to be, as long as they stay healthy, and the offensive line is going to be a major problem for opposing teams. They had almost 300 yards rushing, and that makes it a lot easier for him, by the way, obviously.
Yes, right. And how many plays he can keep. They haven't had this in a long time. How many plays can he just keep alive and extend? Scrambling, running around, take off, whatever, dump it off.
Well, part of the reason why we loved him last year, they were super injured in 2023. We figured that wasn't going to be the case in 2024. Defensively, and the O-line last year was supposed to be amazing. The problem was shenanigans with the quarterback.
Yep, every single week.
You're right.
So, you were talking to Von Tobel about your Mountain West. How about that? Is that team Air Force, maybe?
He said that yesterday in the Cabana.
You know what the price was before all this started?
Oh, it was I think it was a monster just to make the Mountain West Conference title game.
Now, UNLV has an easy schedule, and we'll find out more about them Saturday. Big game at home against UCLA here. But their schedule is so easy.
They're 4-1 right now.
Yeah.
What was UNLV? I honestly, I don't remember that number on UNLV before the season started.
Third choice, weren't they?
Oh, they were absolutely behind Boise and San Jose State?
Yeah.
They were not 4-1, I know that.
They lost everybody. Mm-hmm. But you're 2-0, but that's not impressive 2-0.
Quickly here. Bama, the yes to make the playoffs now plus 176. LSU minus 194.
Wow. I can't believe this. This guy was unbelievable before Alabama. And now he just can't make adjustments and can't fix the defense. No. VSiN's exclusive betting splits cut through the noise, pulling real-time data straight from Circa and DraftKings. Track the percentage of bets and handle on every game across every sport. You can make sharper, more informed bets. Start your edge today, just $9.99, VSiN.com/subscribe.
All right, Monday Night Football preview coming up next. One of these coaches here, you probably can guess which one. 12-1 straight up, 8-4-1 ATS in this range. Find out which guy it is on the sidelines next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We got football tonight, baby, coming up in about 90 minutes. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, kicking off against TCU. And pretty much painted now across the odd screen, Pauly. You have TCU, the Horned Frogs, favored by 3.5, and the total is 54.5. So take a guess here. Which coach do you think is 12-1 straight up and 8-4-1 ATS as a favorite between 3.5 to 10 points?
The GOAT, Hoodie.
No, this is his first college game. Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been really good. What would you rather see from a talking standpoint? Would you want to see a North Carolina blowout and they look super impressive, or they get their doors blown off?
I've always loved Belichick, and I like Lombardi. So I want to see success early, and I want to see what this guy can do now that the GOAT's in college football. And armed with money, NIL, and he can put together, along with Lombardi, the roster. 41 players came in through the portal. They only returned 53% of production. That's 81st in the country. Probably not an ideal situation with the quarterback from South Alabama, but she could be good enough. Remember, got this one a Monday night game with Mac Jones when they couldn't throw the ball. It was a thing of beauty with the wind. I recommend him over his rushing yards prop. If he gets 35 rushing yards, is minus 120 at DraftKings. But I'm rooting for success, which is a program that I like. Hope they can compete year in, year out in the ACC. But I'm like a lot of people here, curious how this is going to go, where all the talk for 6 months has been off the field and the girlfriend and what's going on, and will he last the season and all this, and how could this be? Why didn't an NFL team hire him? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And here he is in North Carolina, and they got the band back together as well, what this is going to look like. So interested to see how, if he's the best to ever do it, he's going to make it work with whatever players he has around him and find a way to get it done and win. But I think it's going to take time. And then here it's also going to be a process with getting all the guys you want and how you and what you want to put on the field and when you build your foundation as well. So it's kind of a little different, where NFL, you pick the player. College, the player picks you, kind of thing.
Much like Friday's show, when bets aside, I said I wanted, just for the reaction, I wanted Arch to go scorched earth on the Ohio State defense.
Yeah.
It was the exact opposite. So we're getting a, big-time hot take reaction there. I'll say the same thing here. Like, I would love to see North Carolina, again, bets aside, not rooting against anybody. I'd like to see him come out there tonight and just, how about this? They dominate TCU defensively.
There you go.
We'll dive in here. TCU's got a good offense.
That's good. Yes, because Hoover's good. He had the big numbers. That's even better.
Like, he puts together, and his son, they put together just an exquisite game plan. And the final score is like 20-3. I want that reaction. Now, if we get it the opposite way, much like Arch Manning, and TCU goes there tonight and they win 41-10, well, then there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of hot takes, obviously, as well. But if we get what I said there at the beginning, that's what I personally want to see here. Now, that's way easier said than done, because Hoover, again, the quarterback here for TCU, had 27 passing touchdowns last year. That was tied for third in the Big 12. At Pro Football Focus, he had a passing grade of 84+. He ranked 13th with that number among all FBS qualifiers. Analytically speaking, he is a pocket passer, and he loves to attack the middle of the field. In fact, he led all Power 4 quarterbacks last year with 166 targets to the middle third of the field with a PFF grade of 91.5. The Tar Heels ranked 79th overall in Pro Football Focus coverage to that part of the field. New safeties into the program, part of the transfer portal. And with Washington last year, the Huskies were far better defending the middle of the field than North Carolina with DC Steve Belichick. So you have that, and you have Gio Lopez, who's coming in as a quarterback here for North Carolina as well, transfers in from South Alabama. You all know at this point they lost Omarion Hampton, who, again, he's been skyrocketing up fantasy boards now for months. He was their leading rusher and third leading receiver. Their top two receivers are also gone. And TCU's secondary is really, really good. It's anchored by Bud Clark, and he led the entire FBS at that position with a 90.1 coverage grade a year ago.
Well, I agree with the move with the total again, which I said earlier. All these big games and these standalone games, these coaches are coming out conservative. The defenses are ahead of the offenses and easy unders. So this opened 59. It's down to 54 at the South Point, 54.5 everywhere else. But that's also the recipe to win. TCU's run defense was terrible. So that's just Belichick doing his homework, student of the game, and just let's run, chew clock. And that's how we're going to beat these guys, and we shorten the game. Also, from a future standpoint, you can still jump in. They're 40-1 to win the ACC at DraftKings if you want any piece of that. And the win total is 7.5 under -160.
Any interest here based on what you just said on a first quarter total? It's 13 tonight, and it's juiced.
Oh, that's high.
Shop around. It's like -130 to the under from what I'm looking at.
Where's that?
Doesn't that seem really high?
I got a 10.5. Where are you looking? I got a 10.5. It is high.
On the
FanDuel?
I got the odds screen right now. Unless it's wrong, I'll double check on the app right now. I'm seeing BetMGM and Caesars among some other offshore books as well. Because the first half, what are you seeing for a first half total? The screen here says 27. That seems awfully high to me as well. Yeah,
you
13
at
Caesars.
Right,
So
DK's got 10.5, and I got a 26.5 at DK.
Well,
okay.
Well, there's no sense in really shopping around for a middle, is there? Are you going to have it land 11 or 12 in the first quarter? I would think no, but basically you're going to take, 13's a touchdown and
like that.
Whatever, 2 field goals, but 13 seems like an awfully high number for a first quarter bet. Boy, there is a major difference there, huh, between all of them. If you like first quarter under, are you going to go first half as well?
Yeah. I mean, look what we've watched so far, right? 14-7. 17, what was 17-10? Was LSU 7? Yeah, 17-10.
The full game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched how sloppy and slow was the South Carolina game. Same thing with Miami, right? These games are getting off to slow starts with conservative play calling. Don't make a mistake. Don't screw it up. And the defense is way ahead of the offenses.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at here. And who's better than this guy, right? Well, he was a DC under Parcells. He knows defense.
Yeah.
That's all. That's Belichick. So I also wouldn't be surprised if he's conservative also out of the gates too and knows that you want to attack TCU on the ground with their bad rushing defense. But I will say some of them have been right, but most of these big blind moves have been wrong in spectacular fashion.
Now, how about this with the first half? DraftKings has a total of 26.5. Under is even money. FanDuel has under 27.5 -128. But that's key number territory we're talking about here. I'd rather lay the 28 cents on 27 because a first half can easily end 17-10 or 14-13. But you got to get 4 touchdowns.
I remember we had a guest on that was last week, and he said 51-52, a key number. And some people are like, what? And then we'll look at the Miami
Oh,
game.
my God, you're right.
Then the Miami game
Oh,
falls
my
51.
God. Oh, you're spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious, that landing spot last night.
But 4 touchdowns here?
Yeah, I don't see it. If they get me, fine. But, it's also hard to give out 54 when it was 59. But it's also based on what we've seen through the entire weekend of action here, especially with these big matchups and standalone games.
Well,
so that's where I'm at with this one, and I'm absolutely rooting for Lombardi and Belichick. So I think you nailed it. Carolina wins a low-scoring game. Defense looks great. Belichick, here we come. That's what
That'd
we
be
want.
fun. That'd be a fun talking point after it's over with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side, though, TCU's offense obviously that kid's awesome.
Good. Yeah, won 9 games last year.
Hoover's really good.
Yeah, good quarterback. Could be in the mix to win the conference. Good league.
I'm not going to say no
Wide
to that.
open,
I
right?
think the Big 12, I think, has a lot of opportunities there.
And they also have a gauntlet. I mean, after this, that's a cupcake against Abilene Christian. Then it's SMU at Arizona State and Colorado. There was another tough one in there. Computer. K-State. K-State and Baylor. Look at that to start the season for TCU. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah, who said that earlier? That the Group of 5 playoff team is going to come from the AAC?
Felica.
I think he's Yep.
Yep.
Memphis is plus 650 to win their conference. What am I missing here?
Global schedule.
They're like the 4th or 5th shot on the board.
There's a couple of tough road games.
Yeah, but it's absolutely manageable here.
Okay. Think you're better than the experts? Prove it in the Edge Boost Average Joe contest. Same format as a Circa Friday Football Invitational. Contestants are average Joes instead of the pros, free to play. Register anytime throughout the season to still be eligible for weekly and quarterly prizes. And the grand prize, a spot in next year's field. Sign up now, vsin.com/Joe. Reaction's been phenomenal. Great job, guys. Go get them. Win some money. VSiN, win some prizes. vsin.com/Joe.
We got this on X. Zaslow, I think it was, saying, how about Missouri 50-1 SEC? Like their schedule is so easy. To make it, maybe. Okay.
Make it.
In-pocket plays are up next. And if there is a coach in college football who cares about revenge, I think it has to be this guy. And look at who they're playing this week.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day.
No way.
I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
All right. Tough one on Friday. League Two, Cheltenham Town. They've only scored 2 goals on the season in 6 games. They scored 1 against Salford City. Draw. That was a loser. Salford City dominated, but had the 1-1 finish. Exeter City, easy. We are fading this team every game. That's Peterborough. They have 2 goals on the season. Exeter City spanked that ass at plus money.
Whoa.
Clemson, they buried them. Clemson lane 4 against LSU. Dabo goes into my pocket again. Shutout at home in the second half. Great job, LSU defense, and Kelly as well. Big win for the Tigers. Tennessee covers against Syracuse. Aguilar looked great. Good tweet from Pat 40. Aguilar and Retzlaff, you hear about, you need this time. We got to practice. These guys came in late. Retzlaff transferred in late July, and Aguilar got the job after Nico's nonsense, and they both were phenomenal. Notre Dame, Miami under. Arch Manning over rushing yards, thanks to Chip Brown, who put me on that on Friday with his spot. He had some moves, though. That move on the sideline as well, keeping plays alive and a scramble ability. And this was a force. I own it. This was Friday. Miss Jackson was a game-time decision with the ankle, but she's been so good to us on this show, going over her points prop. She had 8 at halftime, and then not much in the second half, although, again, you got a ball hog at point guard. That doesn't help. And, of course, she got there last night. They're in action tonight. If you want to dance, it's 15.5. But I don't like the spot. But I still think Miss Jackson can get there over 15.5 against the Storm. To the new plays, eclectic mix as always. Like the Diamondbacks tonight. Corbin has got an ERA of 11. Last 6 starts against the Diamondbacks. I think Arizona's offense can take him out tonight against a hot Texas team. And tomorrow, Fritz, Joker, over. 41.5 games. Going to be a hell of a match. Joker's 10-0 lifetime against them. But I think Fritz can hang in this one. And also maybe Joker's back can give him some problems. That can let Fritz hang around in this one. So I'm expecting a long match tomorrow in the U.S. Open. Good luck.
All right. Best of luck to you as well, Pauly. All right. LSU plus the 4. That was a winner.
How'd you feel at halftime?
Ugly game.
Sure. Halftime, I thought Clemson had it.
I was never really panicking
okay.
in that spot. Did not have it in pocket, but we talked about it at the end of the show on Friday. Forgot to tell Luke about it, but if you bet that, the Castellanos rushing yards, that got there no problem. It was 25.5. He had 78.
Yeah.
That is absolutely something to monitor against Alabama moving forward with when they have mobile quarterbacks. Grading now the most wins. Sorry. Quickly. Antonio Williams was a loser. Over 5.5 receptions plus 108. He got injured in the second series. Maybe that changed things offensively for him. He was supposed to be a huge part of the game plan.
Okay.
Most wins in the month of August. So the losers were the Padres, the Reds, Orioles. I put a little bit as well on the Phillies midway through the month. But the Brewers got there at 14-1. That's a good one.
Can you say who you bet in September? Because this is updated.
I know. It's too bad today's September 1st. And
Well,
the game's already started.
but you can bet it. You can still bet it.
Okay.
You bet it every day.
I said this on the air, I think, last week, too. I have the A's at 115, the Giants at 40, and the Mariners at 14. Here's the thing. Bad baseball summer of betting for me. However, if I didn't fail to realize that the Blue Jays-Yankees game on July 1st was a day game, that would have been 3 months I won so far with most wins.
No. Hello.
I split with the Tigers when they took it down, I think, in May. That was a dead heat. Brewers this month, and then the Blue Jays would have been a winner in July. I didn't get it in time, but good read on those markets so far. And now we're at the end of the year, of course. Oh, this is my new bet here. What I was talking about before the break. Ole Miss is laying 10 against Kentucky. I had this game circled from last year, and as Tyler Shoemaker wrote at vsin.com today, he also is betting Ole Miss minus 10. He has a couple of other plays on the website. He wrote, remember last year when Ole Miss was considered a playoff contender, and then they took Georgia down to the wire, and then inexplicably lost to Kentucky to derail the entire conversation?
It was homecoming.
He said, I'm betting Lane Kiffin does. Well said, Tyler. If anybody holds a grudge or wants revenge in college football, it's Lane Kiffin. If he can in this game, I think he's going to add a touchdown or two on top of it if they're beating Kentucky late in the fourth quarter. I think he wants to put it to Kentucky because they kept them out of it. They were a playoff team last year. I think they... No, I can't prove it, obviously.
That Florida game, too. Yeah.
They were good enough to win the whole thing last year.
Maybe, yep. G-Bank, built with sports bettors in mind. Right now, you can earn a $50 cashback reward bonus once you're approved and your account is open with the G-Bank Visa Signature Card. Most credit cards, street sports books, and gaming transactions as cash advances, even when it's your own money. G-Bank treats as my regular purchases. No cash advance fees, saving you up to 3 to 5% on every deposit. Plus, you'll earn 1% cash back on all eligible sports books and gaming transactions. 2% cash back on everything else you buy. Apply now, vsin.com/gbank. vsin.com/gbank. Go get it. Brewers blow a 5-1 lead against the Phillies. 7-6 Phillies, top of the eighth. And the Braves have blown a 6-1 lead against the Cubs. 6-6 Cubbies batting in the bottom of the ninth.
Why not? That's a story of baseball. I mean, the Blue Jays-Reds game today, perfect example. What was the total in that game?
8. 2-1 in the ninth.
2-1 in the ninth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There you go. Any interest in James Madison plus 250 to win the Sun Belt?
Yeah, that's good. Sure. I got 10-1 playoff.
They are, that number, opened up, I think, 18.5 against Louisville this weekend?
That's a big game Friday. Yep.
Look at all the money on JMU.
Mm-hmm.
It's down to 14, some spots maybe 14.5. I don't know. What do you want to do here? Louisville was really, really good. Miller Moss, I believe in.
Points, yeah. 57's the total. Paul Stone moved a total 3 points here.
Which one?
He bet the San Diego State, Washington State game under. 48.5. He bet it. They moved it to 45.5 here.
Well, and I agree with the line move because Wazoo, I think, was hovering out there at 3, I believe I saw. They're down to 1.5.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Well, I don't want to overreact to what we saw in one game, obviously. But how about San Diego State just to make the Mountain West Conference title game? They're an absolute bomb to win the whole thing, to win the conference.
Oh, Air Force, Aztecs, fine. I'm not going to put you off anything. This is also the game that you talked about after they lost to Hawaii. You said, watch out for this game. It's not going to go well. BYU put it on there. Would they play Portland State, 69 rip or something? BYU is 18.5 against Stanford at home Saturday night. A lot of people were making the case that this is just going to get out of control in this game. After what they want. They look like geniuses after what Hawaii looked like.
I know.
Hawaii lost 40-6 to Arizona. Ooh, that was bad.
So how bad is Stanford?
Yes. Win total 2.5.
I think I'm going to lay it with BYU.
All right. Big one for the Rebels, too. Because I always love moments like this. We say, okay, we got one game. That's it. Was it great Utah? Or is it bad UCLA? Or is it a little bit of both?
I think probably a little bit of both.
Okay. It's a big game for the Rebels Saturday night. They're 2.5-point dogs against UCLA. You got an easy schedule behind that. You and win that game at home 3-0, that certainly was all Utah and total domination. And then Oklahoma at home to Michigan, and Oklahoma up to 6.
What do you think of that number? Michigan was not like ultra impressive against New Mexico.
No.
They never came close to covering that number.
I would look at under 46.5. Oklahoma is 6 at the South Point.
Boy, that's like begging me to bet Michigan.
Yeah. Ooh. I just don't understand the Mateer love after they played a nobody. So, which I was high on them too, but they're going to lose 4 games. The schedule's too tough.
That's a very difficult schedule.
I'm not going to get carried away with Heisman talk or whatever because they beat a nobody.
Florida 17.5 against South Florida.
I think I wanted that. That's
Man, that's a lot of points.
I know. I thought the same thing. I couldn't believe it. I will say keep riding Brown, that quarterback for South Florida, with the rushing yards over.
Anytime touchdown
take off and run that too, right? Yes. And the total is 65 in the Baylor SMU game.
Yeah, I'll give you another one I think I'm going to bet because the number's moving the way it looks. And it already has. How about Arizona State laying 7 at Mississippi State? I want the home dog.
Yeah, they look good. That was a good win.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Miss.
Yep. And Arizona State was far from impressive.
Yep. And revenge from last year.
Sure.
I'm with you on that.
All right,
that's a good catch.
Stay tuned. Prime time's next for 4 hours. Cashing out after that from 11 until 2 Eastern time. Wake up tomorrow early, 7 a.m. Eastern, with Jensen and Dave Ross. Good luck tonight.